Hi, this is Lisa Bisegli, and I will be doing my informative speech on the psychology of habits, how to turn off autopilot. Have you ever driven home from work and realized you don't remember much of the drive? Chances are your brain was operating on autopilot. The truth is that a large part of our daily lives is made up of habits, from brushing our teeth in the morning to checking our phones throughout the day. Many of our daily actions happen automatically through our habits. While this can make life easier, it can also make our brain harder to notice behaviors we might want to change. Today, I will discuss how our brains create habits, why so much of our behavior is run on autopilot, and how greater awareness can help us become more intentional in our daily lives. So first, let's talk about how habits are created. Think about your morning routine. Most people wake up, make coffee, get dressed, or check their phones roughly in the same order every day. Most of the time, you don't stop and think about each step, you just do it. That's because habits are behaviors that become automatic through repetition. The more we repeat a behavior, the more familiar it becomes. Over time, those actions turn into routines that we barely have to think about. Many psychologists describe habits as a loop made up of three parts: a cue, a routine, and a reward. The cue is what triggers the behavior, the routine is the behavior itself, and the reward is what keeps us coming back to it. For example, feeling bored might be your cue. Picking up your phone and scrolling through social media is the routine. The entertainment or distraction we gain from scrolling becomes the reward. After enough repetition, reaching for your phone can happen without much thought at all. I know I'm very guilty of that. Once those habits are formed, many of our daily habits begin to run on autopilot. But running on autopilot isn't always a bad thing. A lot of our daily routines happen automatically because we've done them so many times before. Things like locking the door when we leave the house, turning off the coffee pot, taking the same route to work each day, putting on a seatbelt when we get in the car. These don't require much thought anymore. Autopilot allows us to do these things without much thought, so we can focus on our attention on other things. The problem is that autopilot doesn't just apply to good habits. It can also keep us stuck in habits we don't really want. For example, some people find themselves opening the refrigerator whenever they walk into the kitchen, even when they're not hungry. Others automatically turn on the television when they get home from work. Some put off difficult tasks because avoiding them has become a habit. Because these behaviors happen automatically, we don't often notice them until they've already happened. Fortunately, we are able to take back some control. One way to turn off autopilot is becoming more mindful of what we're doing throughout the day. Mindfulness simply means paying attention to the present moment instead of moving throughout our routines automatically. Think about how often we go through parts of our day without really noticing them. We eat while scrolling through our phones, drive while thinking about what happened at work, walk into a room or forget why we walked in there in the first place. When we're on autopilot, we're often focused on the past or future, or several things all at once, instead of what we're doing right now. Practicing mindfulness can help us become more aware of our habits. It creates a pause between the action and the reaction. Instead of automatically reaching for our phone when we're bored or avoiding a task that feels difficult, we have an opportunity to notice what we're doing and make a conscious choice. The goal isn't to be perfectly mindful all the time. That's pretty much unrealistic for many of us. The goal is to simply become more aware of our daily behaviors and the choices that we're making. Even small moments of awareness can help us become more intentional and less driven by autopilot. The more present we become, the easier it is to recognize our habits and decide whether they're helping us or holding us back. Awareness is the key. So in conclusion, habits are a very normal part of our everyday life. They help us move through our day efficiently, often without requiring much thought. However, The same habits that make life easier can sometimes lead us to go through parts of our day on autopilot. Today, we discussed how habits are formed, why so much of our behavior becomes automatic, and how being more mindful can help us become aware of the habits that shape our daily lives. The next time you find yourself reaching for your phone, opening the refrigerator, or following a routine without thinking about it, take a moment to notice it. You might be surprised by how much of your day is run on autopilot. Thank you.